this movie is called Blood Red Sky. It's a movie that released July 23rd, 2021 in Germany. It's a very interesting ride. If you've watched the trailer before watching this movie, you already have the plot spoiled for you. Congratulations. The movie starts off with a plane that is headed for landing. Everyone is freaking out. This is at the RAF Air Base in Scotland. This guy who's in charge is briefed on what's going on. The plane comes in for a landing, being escorted. They help it land kind of rough. A little boy is released from the plane, but he's the only one. However, it seems like he's in shock and he's not talking. What they want to know is what happened on that plane. What's going on in there? Are the hijackers in there? Is everyone safe? The person in charge, the military dude, doesn't want to send his soldiers in until he understands exactly the situation inside. And just in case the crazy hijackers want to kill the passengers.
Affirmative, free line of fire, 300 meters.
P2, affirmative, free line of fire,
320 meters.
Do not move. We will open fire at the first movement. I repeat, if you move, we will open fire. Hands on your head. Now slowly climb into the pilot's seat. Put the headset on and very, very slowly show me your hands.
Let me get out. I'll explain everything to you.
No, you'll do what I tell you to.
You have to believe me, I'm no terrorist.
Put your hands behind your head where we can see them.
I'm injured.
I will help you when you let the passengers off the...
So we got that guy that everyone right now thinks is the terrorist, and everyone believes that he's the one that let the little boy go. There's a flashback where the little boy and his mother were getting ready to go on the flight. When we see the mother, Nadia, she has no hair, which leads us to believe that she has some form of cancer, and she's very sick. She puts on a wig, and in the meantime, her son, Elias, goes to the airport to check in and handle everything like the big man he is. They're supposed to be going to New York so that the mother can supposedly get an operation to help her with her illness. And then look who we see. It's a supposed terrorist from the beginning of the movie. Now we're gonna fast forward a bit here because this is just a summary. There are flashbacks to when Nadia had her husband. Unfortunately, he's dead. And the last time we see him is in this flashback when he has to get out of the car when it breaks down. The baby is crying, so is the car. There's no cell phone signal, and the dad's like, look, I gotta go get help, and he doesn't want the baby and the wife to come along because it's much too cold. You already know that he's gonna not come back. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, if anything happens, no, we'll wrap the baby up in 16 different layers. I'm going with you. I'm not letting you go out there by yourself. I don't care if all the movies I watch were horror movies. Wendigo might be real. Just the idea that they might be real kind of freaks me out. I'm going with you. We all died together. Every single one of us. Yes, the baby too. She wakes up, and soon after that, this guy and a few others hijack the plane. The guy who's about to meet his maker right now tried to be a hero because of someone who was unruly, not understanding that the whole thing was set up and that this stewardess guy is in on it, as is the co-pilot. Oh dear. Even the other stewardess are kind of completely screwed. The co-pilot's a bad guy, and the stewardess, the other one, is so astonished that this guy that she had a crush on the whole time turned out to be one of the bad guys. This guy named Farid, the one who was being blamed and framed to be the terrorist in the earlier part of the movie, is actually one of the good guys. He actually befriended the little boy Elias. The main pilot was poisoned, and the co-pilot takes control of the plane. Everyone is forced to put their hands in front of them on the seat. They turn the plane around and head back to where they are. After murdering the 3 air marshals on the plane and sabotaging the black box, they turn the plane around. The idea is that these guys want to stay in control of the plane until a ransom is paid. Elias has an idea, and he tells his mom they can hide in the cargo. But Nadia's like, no, are you crazy? One of the guys approaches Farid, and he's like,
What? Yes? Assalamu alaikum. Get up.
right after saying peace be upon you, he's like, yeah, get up. The idea is that they're gonna use him, since he knows the language, to read off a list of demands and make it look like he's the terrorist. Unfortunately for Nadia, because she had to run after her son when he was making a break for it, trying to get them to hide in the cargo hold, the one crazy sociopathic dude stops her. And he's all like, where do you think you're going? Nadia tries to explain that she was going after her son because her son got up. Does he look like he's in the mood to hear excuses? This guy is a hungry killer. He's a psychopath. No, he's a sociopath. And not a high-functioning one either. He shoots her point blank about 3 times. The evil villain looks like he was waiting his whole life to do that. If you've watched the trailer, you know that Nadia's not going to die, because the trailer spoiled that for you. Aren't trailers great? The little kid does some of the worst crying I've ever seen in a kid before. Look, they need to go to freaking Korea or Asian cinema to teach these kids how to cry. Seriously, African and Asian cinema, they know how to make their kids cry. And I don't know if they actually make them cry, but kids are great criers. But this just kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Can you do that? Promise me.
Really, bitch? You couldn't give the kid some freaking artificial tears? You couldn't take some water and stream it down his face? Like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. It's kind of embarrassing. I know it's just a kid, but you know, there are kid actors that are way better than this. He's a cute kid, but aside from his curb appeal, like, there's nothing else going for him. But he does get better later on in the movie. As the mother is supposedly dying, she has a flashback to what really happened. See, it was long enough that she started getting worried about her husband and went out to go find him. She found his footprints and saw that they led to a cabin in the woods. Never visit a cabin in the frickin' woods at night. As she goes in with her baby, who is Elias, she notices blood on the floor. Like some creature had dragged her husband down there. Then she sees a humanoid figure chasing after her and she locks it out. There she sees the dead body of her husband. The thing breaks through the window and bites her. Just then, the sun comes up and roasts it to death. And that's how she got bitten by a vampire. We realize that's her illness. And because she's a vampire, she can't die from conventional means. She goes to the cargo hold. I really don't like this part, but she takes a long-haired chihuahua and like kills it. Why didn't you suck its blood? Why didn't you put it to sleep? Like, you could have done so many things, but there's a pool of blood on the floor. You had to do that. You couldn't just drink it from the, like, I just feel like that was done for dramatic effect. And you hear the poor puppy crying, like, ugh. As soon as I saw the dogs in the cargo hold, I know. Yeah, of course, because life is great. One of those poor babies, you're gonna die. And that's exactly what happened. Understandably, she wasn't trying to be evil. She's trying to survive and save her child. After she has some blood, she kills one of the guys down there and releases one of the big dogs to make it look like the big dog is the one that killed the guy. Later on, when the bad guy's friends find him and they see the dog standing next to him, they shoot the dog because they think the dog tore out his throat. So yep, that's two poor dogs dead. So yeah, as I said, the two unnecessary deaths. Like, kill all the humans if you want. Why must they kill dogs in movies? The mother is now a full-blown vampire, and she has to be to fight these guys. She gets into the cockpit with her son. The mother's now full-blown vampire, and she gets one of the air pilot students, who are one of the passengers, to turn the plane around. Elias is scared, but not of his mother. He had known this entire time she was a vampire, but he was the only thing that was helping her keep her sanity and her grounds in humanity. They can't get her to open the door, these bad guys, so they start killing off passengers. They can't kill Fareed because he's their scapegoat. They need him. So they take a little girl whose parents surprisingly don't put up much of a fight at all, which is like, really, bro? You wouldn't do anything and everything in your power to make sure that your kid doesn't... Okay. I get it. Maybe they're scared, but he's like, sit back down. But to their defense, they don't know absolutely that they're going to kill their child. And if they fight, they're going to get killed and they're probably going to kill her child anyway. So I guess it's one of those situations where you're just kind of hoping and praying. The mother sees the little girl on the camera to the cockpit. She's not going to let a little kid die. So she gets out and she goes full on vampire. Bites him. Little kid's just standing there like, what the hell? Mommy? No, seriously, this is probably like the first time he's seen his mom do like he knows she's a vampire, but he's probably never seen her in action. Oh, but that sociopathic dude did though. Can you guess what's gonna happen next?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Stop screaming!
Yeah, somebody is kind of in one of those spells. You know, like the chicks in Twilight were, where they see a vampire and they're like, oh my god, Edward. Kind of like that. And they just want to be turned by the vampire. Because with that comes ultimate power. She knows she has to kill anyone she's bitten and not killed because they will turn into vampires and then she'll have a whole bunch of vampires that she needs to take care of. I think they're following the Nosferatu laws where if one vampire changes the other, you're kind of beholden to that vampire. Nadia tries to go after the other bad guys after killing this vampire. The crazy guy wants to know more about Nadia, so he asks for her bag. Seeing all the stuff in there that she uses to hide the fact that she's a vampire, and based on her behavior and appearance, he makes the deduction that she is in fact a vampire. He sees the books that she was also reading about vampirism as well. Was she not afraid that anybody else would find that? Okay. Then she does one of the most weird things I've ever seen. I understand she has to keep grounded to humanity, and maybe she has to take a strange concoction that kind of dulls the effects of her vampirism. But why on God's green earth would you choose to take that medication now, of all times, when you know that you're in danger and your son needs help? It's not like you're not finished fighting these bad guys. They're still out there. Your son still is depending on you. But no, she takes it and she knows it makes her very weak. Maybe she does it so that she's not too far gone. Whatever the case is, now she's in the bathroom, completely weak while those other guys are still out there. She has another flashback when she was going through this, when she was a vampire and didn't know how to live with it when her son was still a baby. Early on, she left the baby in the apartment for like 2 hours at a time crying. She had to keep going out and getting meat so she can drink the blood. She had to keep plucking her canines. And I like seeing the struggle because I've not seen a concept like this before, where she has this baby crying incessantly and she has to keep herself fed so that she doesn't kill the baby. And then you see her bout of frustration while she's dealing with this and trying not to eat her own child. Oh my god, they really scared the shit out of that baby for real. That baby was really scared. Like, that wasn't acting. That baby was scared shitless. That was terrible. Don't worry, I don't think he'll remember, but that was kind of funny. We see how much she loves her son because she's able to hold on to her humanity, whatever is left of it, so she doesn't kill him. She does everything in her power to avoid this, and it must be so hard fighting what you really are. She'd gone back to the main guy who turned her, or rather, the father of the thing that turned her. He knows that they're evil, and the one word of advice that he left her with is do not let this spread. The little boy had heard or seen on the cameras that these guys were planning to kill the mom, so he tries dragging her back to the cockpit, but she's weak from that medicine she took. She manages to get up, but she's gonna need more blood if she's gonna fight this guy. They have her dead to rights right here, and they're like, don't shoot her. Why? What is the reason? I just don't understand the logic of some of these characters. Just look at this guy's face. He's like, oh my god. I can't wait to have your blood inside me, bitch. Nice and wet and sticky and cold.
Okay.
He steals her blood and has the weirdest, like, pedo face. Jesus Christ, I can't stand that guy. The son takes a gun and tries to stop him, but the poor little kid doesn't have the heart to pull the trigger. As the guy grabs the gun, the trigger goes off, and of course, yep, there's a vacuum in the plane sucking out all the oxygen. The mother tries to save her kid, and it's a nice enough distraction for that crazy guy to get away. After they got the plane in control, not really, because the air student didn't know how to put his mask on, and he died, the mother goes to find the guy with her blood and finds him in the cargo alongside the rich person's car. He's already taken the blood, or getting ready to take the blood. He is so full of himself because he knows that she might not be able to get in there. Not to mention, the glass is bulletproof. He injects her blood, she helplessly watches him turn, but she decides to cook him alive in the car. I love the way that she drops it through the car and just watches. She burns him just like she burned up the old Dracula guy. I just love the way her eyes look. She thinks it's over. The co-pilot has now gotten into the cockpit and he's trying to assume control of the plane once more. When he realizes there's a fire in the cargo hold, the extinguisher goes off, and before she can light the fire again, the bad boys come in. She has to run away because she can't take them all. Not knowing that this guy shot himself up with vampire bodily fluids, his boys open the car and claim he's still alive, which we know he should not be. He quickly kills his friends and starts turning all of them into vampires. The co-pilot is now on their side, meaning the mother, the son, and all the other passenger side. He wants to get out of the situation, and he can fly the plane, so unfortunately, now not only do we have bad hijackers in the plane, but now we also got bad guys who are also vampires. Now things start to escalate. This selfish passenger who had stolen oxygen from another person wants to live. He has so much internal bleeding that nothing that they do will help him. He offers this woman to pay her money so that she can save him, but his money will not save him. So knowing that vampires are a thing, after having heard all the other passengers talk about it, knowing that Nadja's now on everyone's side and they're no longer afraid of her, well, not really, he goes to the door to release the bad guy vampires and ask one of them to bite him. There's this guy. Hey, why does he turn like that? Like, what the frick is this, Thriller? That was so freaking cringe. He worked better as a human villain, but as a vampire, he's so freaking cringe. Oh my god. So the selfish guy's like, please, bite me. I'm dying. I want to live. And because the vampire knows he wants to get bitten, he punches him and kills him, or just doesn't, leaves him to die slowly, just because the guy asked to be bitten. Had the guy not said anything, the villain probably would have bitten him anyway. But because he knows the guy wanted to be bitten, he's like, nah, I'm good. On second thought, I think I'll just leave you here to die slowly while also giving you a concussion. That's what that guy gets. Yeah. The mother, Fareed, and her son see on the camera that the passengers are panicking. They're all about to be turned into vampires, and their loyalty is going to be to the people who turned them. Sorta. Nadja puts her son in a safe place, They know they have to wait it out until it's sunlight, but then if they touch down the plane, which they'll have to since the plane is going to run out of fuel eventually, all those things will be released. The detonator that they have, which is an option to blow up the plane, which is what the hijackers were going to do anyway, is down in the cargo hold with the guy that got killed in the first place. The one that I believe Nadja killed. From what I can gather, there's no more remote detonators, so somebody has to go down there and get it. Someone has to stay back and detonate the plane. Nadja said it has to be her, but her son loves her so much he refuses. He wants his mom to live. He can get through there, through the secret passageway. See, his acting does actually get better around this point. He refuses to have his mom die, so he shines a light in her eyes just to get her to leave him alone so he can go down there because he wants to save her. The guy is absolutely dead. He finds the detonator, but the vampires quickly find him and try to get to him. Nadja has to get down there and save her son. Nadja says no matter what happens, please take care of her boy. After he promises, she turns around and sucks the blood of the co-pilot. He was the bad guy anyway. By the way, Farid got his hand chopped off because he got bitten by one of the vampires, which the time that had passed by that he got bitten and when Nadja chopped off his hand, he should have already turned, but you know, movie magic. Crazy guy's like, I got the boy. This is mine, guys. Go mind your own business. It's possible that Nadja is also much stronger than these vampires. Usually vampires that have been alive longer than other vampires turn out to be a lot stronger and wiser than vampires who have just turned. Nadja saves her boy, but in a turn of events, this guy is not loyal to Nadja. Nadja didn't bite him, he turned himself with her blood, and he does the unforgivable sin. He bites Nadja and starts drinking her blood. A vampire sucker. Wait, sorry. A vampire drinker? Sucking the blood? No. Ugh. Vampire eater. I think that's it. As she drinks her blood, she starts to get weaker until she can't stand anymore. That is the ugliest vampire I've ever freaking seen, man. God damn. If ASMR had an opposite and it was for eyes, this guy would be it. And Nadja looks like what the Splice Girl would have turned into if she got older. The kid activates a detonator for the cargo. I don't know how he knew to do that one. That's kind of confusing, but whatever. Nadja uses the last of her strength to fight this guy and push him out. He hangs on for dear life though when the kid tries to fight him off. But little too late, the sun burns him up. Good for his ass. Poor Elias tries to wake up his mom. He does what any kid would do and gives her his blood. Oh, this is the heartbreaking part because when she gets up, she knows what has happened. She knows that she has drank the blood of her child, and now that she can smell him, she wants to eat him. This woman is a great actor because just seeing her fighting the urge to kill her son is just so, I feel so bad for her. It's her motherly love that keeps her from doing it. And in this moment, the kid was honestly a good actor too because you could see the look of horror and heartbreak in his eyes. He's not a good crier, but he was a great actor when it comes to looking worried. Over and over again, he tries to hug her and she keeps pushing him away. She knows in her mind right now she's too far gone. And with the last bit of motherly love and humanity that she has in her, she pushes her son away to avoid eating him. This was so heartbreaking, and I know that this moment is something that will remain in my heart and I will remember for a very long time because it was so freaking sad. His face, like he did a really great job, and like you could see the pain in her face, the pain and the rage, like she wants to eat him, but like, god damn it, son, why you gotta smell so good? She's disappointed and she can't even blame her boy, but at the same time she's like, why did you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you give me your blood? And an uncontrollable urge. You try it. Be hungry and smell some food. You can smell that food and stay hungry and not eat it. But the minute you take a spoon, you know you're not supposed to eat that thing. Good luck. Good luck. That entire plate is gonna be clean. You're gonna probably eat the entire plate too. And the counter it was sitting on. She pushes him away, and that is the last time. She lets him know, get away from me. Stay away from me. Now he's actually crying. Now he's crying. Poor kid. Can you imagine what this must feel like? To have your mother, you try and protect her? Like, this kid has protected his mother this entire time. He has done everything to keep her safe, to help her live like this, and he does the one thing he thinks that he should do as a son who loves his mother, to bring her back to life, to make her healthy again, and that's to give her his blood. And it ends up changing her completely, to the point where she doesn't even want to touch him. He knows that this is it, that's not his mother anymore, at least not completely, and he is completely shattered. Not being able to believe what's going on, she sadly leaves. She goes to join the rest of the vampires, and there she stays, fully embracing her animal side as soon as she turns her back on her son. Not eating him, not tasting his blood was the last bit of sanity that she had to hold on to. The poor kid is just left orphaned. Like, oh God, so painful. So that's why he looks like this. We go back to the present, how the movie started. Farid is still inside the plane, people think he's a terrorist, and the kid is trying to explain to them that Farid is the good guy, and that the plane is full of vampires. But of course, no one believes him. They get Farid off the plane, the kid is in an ambulance, but the kid ends up getting away, injecting one of the ambulance guys with the sedative. He's running back, screaming for Farid, trying to save him, because right now, Farid is the last family that he has left, the only friend that he has left. Farid is trying to tell Elias, no, I'm here, don't go to the plane, but Elias can't hear him. Meanwhile, the soldiers had gone on the plane, thinking they were going to save the passengers, not realizing that they were going to have to get saved from the passengers, and then they turned to vampires as well. It's a whole mess. They had no idea what they were walking into. The good news is the general has camera footage from the soldiers' cameras, so there's proof that these passengers are attacking them and something's wrong with them. Elias is running as fast as he can. He calls out for Farid, no answer. And here's the moment of truth. His mother is one of the first vampires to jump out of the plane, and she is sucking the blood of someone. Elias, in what remains of his hope, calls out for his mom, hoping that she'll remember him, that she's not too far gone, that she can still come home and they can still be a family. Mama? What in the... Oh. Farid saw the boy go back there and the blast blew him away. That was so sad. And the kid did what he knew he had to do. He knew his mom was no longer his mom at that point, and he blew up the plane. Farid finds him, and luckily the boy is still alive. They're all they have. Farid keeps his promise to take care of the boy, and the boy, a piece of him seems to have died in the wreckage with all the vampires and people who've turned. And that was Blood Red Sky. Such a very, sad movie, but it was an interesting concept. Was it the greatest movie ever? No, but it was a really great concept. There were a lot of issues with it, but definitely worth a watch. And it's such a great message knowing that a mother would go through so much and sacrifice everything for her kids, even vampirism. Thanks so much for watching.